In this video, we're going to create our first option. We're going to start with the elevation options. So, looking at the front of the house and in 3D, our main option, our main elevation, the elevation that comes with the model, will be elevation A. So we really only have to create elevation B and elevation C, but in order to do that, we need to pull off the geometry that we want to effectively change for those options. Now, one thing to keep in mind when creating the option, because you're pulling off, as I said, geometry, is that you want to pull off enough geometry that anything you would do down the road you could effectively change. For example, let's say this bedroom 2 that you've got here, you wanted to actually make a foot smaller. Well, if you only pulled off geometry back to like 6 inches off of this turn, then you couldn't effectively do that because you can only push this back 6 inches before you have geometry not optioned jetting out 6 inches. So make sure you pull off as much geometry. Err on the side of caution. Pull off more if you think you'll ever need it. All right, so the first thing we need to do is we need to cut the walls in order to pull them off. So you see you've got a run of wall here and here, run of walls. We want to effectively pull off all of this on the front that we want to change. And what I've done here is I've created a cut. So you just right click, cut wall, and I cut it. And I just did 4 foot there. And then over here I created a cut between these 2 openings. Now, the other thing we need to cut is any linking walls. So where these 2 walls connect to this wall, we need to cut a piece of the wall off and pull it off with the option. So I've cut a foot back here and a foot back here. So now that we have all of our walls cut, we can create our option. So let's go to the options menu, create new option. We're going to select all the affected geometry that we want to pull off for the option. And I'm going to select these electrical items, the porch electrical items. So this would be dependent on what you want to change for your elevation, since everybody can create whatever they want. If they wanted a different style porch, they would want to pull off anything associated with the porch in order to change it. Next thing we're going to select is dimensions, because the dimensions may change if you did a bump out here, or if you effectively took away this bump out, then you may want to adjust your dimensions. So we need to pull off dimensions as well. And again, I would err on the side of caution, so select everything and you can change it in each option. And I'll leave. I'm going to leave that one there. Now let's grab it. Alright, and now I'm going to, let's grab these as well. And let's grab these as well, because we may change the distance here. So once you've selected everything, you hit the middle mouse button to confirm. And then what you want to do is pick an origin point. So select right here to put my origin point, and then we want to select the option that this is going to be. So this is going to be elevation A. Say OK. You'll see elevation A in the condition and say OK. And you'll see a box. What I like to do is just do a relative coordinate, so Shift X Q from the origin point and just go straight down. And we'll do like 200 feet. So what you'll see is elevation default, or A, and our new elevation A. And I did that on purpose because what you see is we don't really need an elevation A because the default is elevation A. So what we can do here is we can change this to elevation B. So let's go to options and edit, select here, and select B. Okay. And let's do that one more time. Edit components. And we want just elevation B, not and elevation. Okay. There we go. And that's how we create the elevation geometry. So now let's say we want to copy that geometry to create elevation C. What we can do is let's activate this option, confirm, and we have elevation B. So option, copy, select this elevation, and we're going to say C, okay, okay, and then we have our box here, and I'll just do relative because it's grabbing the origin point. That's what you're seeing here is the origin point. So it's in line. We're just going to do a Shift X Q and go straight down again, and this time you just kind of line it up how you like it, right there. And just ignore that error. So now we have elevation A, B, and C is active. Remember that the default is elevation A. So now you just start editing the geometry. Just know which one you have active. Come up here. Let's say you wanted to make this a bump out of 2 feet or 1 feet, 1 foot. There you go. So now elevation C, because that's active, has a 1 foot bump out here, and all your dimensions have changed and all that. If you wanted to stretch, move these dimensions out to make them cleaner, you'll notice they're all green. And that's because when you create an option of 2D geometry, it creates a group. So you'll notice all this is grouped. So in order to change it, you're going to have to ungroup it. Advanced, explode to geometry. Yes. And you'll see everything's geometry again. Now the problem with that is if you activate elevation A in its place, let's do that real quick. So to test your individual options, you can go to activate and elevation A, or the default. And what you'll notice is no geometry here for dimensions because it's doubled up here. So you'll see this 2 foot bump here, and you'll see individually they're not they're exploded now, so they're individual. But if I click on elevation A's geometry, it groups them all. So you're going to want to activate elevation C again, and you'll need to associate or link geometry to that option. And we'll cover that in the next video.